Hi and welcome back. We're doing the update for the Enjoy Your Eyeshadow project. I have a lot of eyeshadows that I actually went through this month, so we'll get started right away. First one is the Terra Moons palette. We used this green shade in a random makeup look. We used that palette once. The My Dream palette also got used once. Although I don't remember which shade it was that was marked. Just the palette got used. The Air palette was also rolled in for a random eye look, in which we used this yellow. This palette was used once. Fire palette was rolled in for one look for one of the collabs, and we used the red. Surrender palette was used once this month. And I don't remember which shadow it was. Palette got used once. The first Lethal Singles palette got brought in. It was for the shade Flutter. Arrow palette got rolled in for one use, doing a random makeup look and on a live, and I was asked to use this shade, so we used this shade. I believe we also used this shade. Moonspell was brought in for a collab, although I don't remember which shade was used. This palette got used once. Sumerian Sunset got brought in for one use. I did one look with this palette. Hold on just a second. Gotta make some room. Cyborg Choir got brought in for one use. I believe it was for the yellow matte, also for a collab. Or this is the shimmer. Yellow matte was brought in for a collab. I believe that was for the Singles Cruise collab. Snow Spell palette got brought in for one use. Again, whenever I show this one, I need to cover up the broken gray. And it was actually this missing shade that got brought in, because that's been rolled into Throwback 30, and I've taken all of those singles and put them into one palette. Troublemaker got brought in for one use. For color pan, I'm attempting pan in the silver, but it only got one use this month. Hella palette got brought in for one use. And I believe it was also the yellow matte for another collab. Oh no, I remember which collab this was. I used multiple shades in this palette. I know I used the lighter pink, the pink shimmer, the yellow, the murky green, this murky green, and I believe I used these two as well. Rosewater got brought in for one use. I'm attempting to hit pan in this shade, but we only had one use this month. Or no, sorry, 2 uses this month. We're up to the 2s. Also brought in for 2, rolled in for 2 uses was Rose Quartz palette by Huda Beauty. I don't remember which shades got used, but 2 uses on this palette. The Acai palette was used twice this month. Come on, pop open. And both of those were in this shade in a Goddess Pan. I'm attempting to finish this shade for Throwback 30. The Taupe palette was brought in twice. I had been attempting to hit Pan and, what is it, Slated? And Slated for a couple months, and I finally hit Pan after 2 more uses. Water palette has been brought in twice this month. First look used these 3 in the middle shade, and then I'm wearing it again today. I'm using both the shimmer and the brown. I'm attempting to go no pan left behind on that palette. Moonwalk by ColourPop was brought in twice. I'm attempting to get 20 uses on this for Color Pan. Grits was also brought in for 2 uses. I'm attempting to hit Pan on this one for Color Pan. No, for the, I'm attempting to hit Pan in it for the Color Pan prompt and Throwback 30. The pastel palette was brought in twice. I don't remember what shades, but I tend to bring this in occasionally as an inner corner. Seahorse palette was used twice this month. My first Nomad Singles palette was used twice this month. I know once was for Creative Art with Heart. I used multiple shades, and then it was used in another collab as well. The Mini Gold palette was brought in 2 times. I'm attempting to finish the gold shade in the middle for Throwback 30. Now we're starting to get up in more uses. The Reindeer palette was brought in 3 times. I was attempting to hit Pan in Christmas Ham, which we did. It took 3 uses. That was for Nightmare on Panning Street. Nomad 2 was brought in 4 times. And again, I know this color was 1 use, and I believe this pink was 1 use, but the other 2 are for the missing shade, which again is in the Throwback 30 palette. Actually. So this is the one from the Snow Spell, and then this is the one from the Nomad 2 palette. Natasha Denona's Sunset palette was used 4 times. I was trying to go no pan left behind on this, and we have hit that goal. But that was used partly this month and partly last month. Fantasy Cosmetica Rogue palette was used 5 times this month. I'm attempting to hit 5 uses in every shade for Throwback 30. The Lethal 2 palette has been used 5 times. I'm attempting to go no pan left behind on this for deca panning. The Sigma palette had also been rolled in for deca panning for 10 uses. It had gotten 4 of those last month, and I got the other 6 this month to finish this off. And that was just any 6 uses with the palette, or any 10 uses with the palette, so just a random 6 uses this month. Next we have the Nomad Ireland palette. This was also used 6 times this month. This had also been put in for a no pan left behind. And then we have my Project Level Up palette, which has been used 9 times. The Pan and Boozy is from Color Pan. I have not hit any pans in this palette yet for Project Level Up. And then we have the Devour palette by Unearthly Cosmetics. This has also been used 9 times. I'm attempting to hit pan and the shade Snack for Throwback 30. And finally, my Pan That palette is always at the top of the solicit seams. This has gotten 12 uses so far since the last Eyes project update. Now, when Deb B created this project, she said we could do it however we wanted. The only thing she requested was a peak and a pit. Your best of the best and your worst of the best. Slide out. So my pit, my worst, is going to be this Acai palette by e.l.f. This shade is the only one I use, but this shade has gotten so old it is just crumbling apart, which is how I got the pan in just 2 uses. And it's one of the reasons why I switched the goal from to pan this to finish this, because I don't think this palette is going to survive the year. It's not the palette's fault. The bite sizes are amazing quality for their price point, but this one has just gotten too old. I believe it's 5 years old at this point. My peak is the Ireland palette by Nomad. This one is just amazing. And I am so glad I rolled it in for the no pan left behind and got to get some more uses on it, because I was feeling so bad that I bought it this spring and then just hadn't been able to use it, because it is just stunning. So that one wins peak for this year, and I'm so beyond sad that I'm rolling it out, and I'm going to have to find something else or some other reason to roll it back in, especially in December, I think, with those greens. Because that's Christmas to me. The gingerbread shade and these greens. Yeah. No, I really want to get some uses in that over the Christmas season. So that's it. That's our Eyes Project Pan update. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.